Welcome to the latest art demo for Em-8er. This is a big one for us. We've created and finished all the creatures needed for the playable mockup. There are 7 next-gen models here, made with the latest techniques. We used PBR shading for realistic metals and plastics, and nearly all the textures you see here are procedurally generated, not hand-painted or photographed. And everything is tweakable in code. That allows us for quick iteration over the colors and textures of the different materials you see here. We also have procedurally generated animations and effects for things like the Tsihu tentacles and the beast spines. These procedural anims are going to be great for reacting to players' actions and to set the moods of the creatures in real time. So, now that we have all the creatures and players we need for the mockup, we're going to be putting a lot of work into animation. We've purchased a mocap suit and have started to record the base animations that our animators will tweak for final results. We've also started to explore motion matching, a coding technique to choose and blend animations entirely procedurally, avoiding a lot of the programming and animator work needed to create complex animation blend graphs. This should help speed up the process, but it will also still take a while to animate all 7 characters. In the meantime, you can expect a terrain update as the next backer build. The terrain you see here right now is a frozen wasteland, but the next iteration will feature the true full volcanic ice theme of the planet Em-8er. Expect lava, expect ice, expect steam, and dark skies filled with lightning. Thanks for checking out this latest build for Em-8er, and for supporting this incredible game. Don't forget to try out the other interactive terminals for more audio commentary on each character, and we'll see you in the next build. This is the humanoid form of the Tsihu, the first sentient aliens discovered by humans right here on Em-8er. Going by the nickname Shifters, they are able to morph into a beast form that is ruthless in melee. In their humanoid form, they employ a variety of ranged weapons. One kind of Tsihu is armed with a grappling hook that can snare jump jetting or gliding omniframes out of the air and hurl them to the ground. Now, we have a prototype working of this effect and it's uploaded to our YouTube channel. Definitely go check it out because it's an epic feeling. So epic that we're probably going to include this as an ability that Omniframes can research and unlock. Now, nobody knows who the Tsihu really are. They appear through rifts and appear to be attracted by human activity on this once barren world. They are growing in number and seem to be summoning ever larger creatures to fight by their side. Energy readings from the rifts seem to indicate temporal distortion, making it possible that the shifters are actually sliding from the past into the present. Now, the tentacles on the back of the Tsihu are responsive. They change colors and become more agitated in combat or when taking damage. So watch for Tsihu's tentacles when you're in combat for tells and other giveaways that might give you an advantage against them. This is the Tsihu beast form. There is no other name for the form that the Tsihu take when enraged or driven by bloodlust. They lose all control and turn into a frenzied, bladed whirlwind capable of ripping omniframes to pieces. The spines on the back of the beast appear to be a morphing ferrofluid, and likely a key mechanic of their shape-changing ability. While we haven't seen other forms of the beast, there is no reason to believe that this is the sole form. There could be many for different combat roles. If you see a beast, don't let it close in. It's extremely fast, and if it closes distance to you, you will be locked into a grapple and have to knock it free before it starts destroying your frame piece by piece. As a Category 1 Kaiju, this is one of the smaller boss monsters you will find in Em-8er. That said, you can see he's pretty big here. The Tsihu use Kaiju as their war machines. Instead of tanks and aircraft, the Tsihu have captured, enslaved, and teched up giant creatures to serve as their siege weapons. This Kaiju has a double maul, a smaller one on his face, and a larger toothy one on his back. The tongue itself is also a weapon that can whip and smash into opponents. What you don't see here yet are the tech upgrades that Tsihu typically implant on their kaiju. These include shield generators and even weaponry that the kaiju will be able to use against players. Taking down a kaiju first means using your boosters to get high enough to target and destroy the shield generators on the back of these beasts. Once the shields are down, you can go for the other technology on the back, or the kaiju itself. Now, this category of kaiju is often encountered as the boss that will attack your thumper when mining. Your thumper will stop mining and start to fight this creature, but without your help, the mining mech won't be able to defeat the kaiju on its own. There are much larger kaiju planned, including ones that can wreck entire buildings. Expect to have some pretty dramatic base encounters during invasions. The iconic Thumper is both your mining equipment as well as your pet. Many Gate Striders form a bond with their Thumper, which come in a variety of personality types. While they don't speak, they are very expressive, and their faceplate will play a series of emojis to indicate their mood. Thumpers are primarily used for mining. They can be called down on valuable ore deposits that you scan and find with your OmniFrame. They are dropped off via your personal dropship and will begin drilling and extracting the resources you need to craft your weapons and abilities and bases in the game. During this mining, waves of Tsihu will appear and attack, and it's up to you to defend your Thumper. The more you mine, the more enemies will appear, but the more resources and rarer resources you will be able to extract. It's up to you how far to push it based on your skill. Push it too far, and your Thumper will be defeated, losing all the resources gathered so far. Thumpers can also be used during invasions. If the zone is under wide-scale attack, you will be authorized to call down your Thumper to help fight off the enemy. This is the very first version of the OmniFrame we built. Unfortunately, after we finished, we realized the results didn't inspire the original concept as much as we hoped. We also got a lot of backer feedback about the narrowness of the spine and some other issues that didn't really jive with people. So, we decided to go back to the drawing board. It was a huge redo, but I think now that you can see both the Mark I frame and the Mark II frame side by side, that we've made the right choice. The Mark I still has its charm, and will probably still appear in some areas of the game as a prop. OmniFrames, of course, are the heart of the game, but we do plan to offer more vehicles after launch, including tanks and aircraft. We want this to feel like a complete war against the Tsihu and their marauding kaiju. Well, here we are, the finally finished OmniFrame Mark II. This is easily the most complex model in the game, both from a modeling and technical standpoint. There are many complex parts in this frame, and its exposed pilot means double the animation work when we go to animate him. In the future, the hard driver mode will let you fully enclose the mech, but the default look is for the pilot to be exposed but shielded. This is to give the mechs a more personal touch, and to let you identify more with the pilot rather than feeling like a robot running around. There are three basic frame types: the light, medium, and heavy OmniFrame. You're looking at the medium frame. The size determines things like mass, speed, and the power generator that the frame can fit. The specific weapons and abilities are up to you. You can customize them by crafting the abilities and weapon systems you'd like. There is one common pool of tech that is shared between all frames, and a different pool for each frame type. It's really up to you how you want to design your class of OmniFrame.
It's not a game. A game with this much movement is not VR friendly. I want to know somebody's frame rate on a new NVIDIA 2080 RTX. Hey, DJ. Terracon, let's help you out here. So the game launches, but when you log in, you get some kind of error. And is that a Windows pop-up error, or is the game giving you that? Oh, Silver Shadow. You know what? You should upload all that stuff. I'd love to see it. FOV is so narrow in VR, Robert. I mean, what's I don't understand peripheral imaging for VR when the FOV is already so narrow. James, Firefall actually had an issue on AMD hardware where it ran kind of slow on that. Um, I'm hoping that we get a lot of people to run it, so we're going to be doing a lot of work on that. Awesome, DJ. Thank you. That's what I was hoping for. That people get excited. Oh, we broke 10,000 members. We're at like 10,600 or something. You know, let me look up the exact number. 10,794 accounts registered on Ember, which is less than the forum count. And we don't know why. We think some people didn't sign up for the forum part of it. But we have over 10,600 people, and that's awesome. I remember when Firefall first hit that, it took a PAX for us to hit that first 10K number. It was great. No, I'm looking at the official my.ember accounts. Now, people who sign up for my.ember.com don't necessarily complete the forum sign up step. That's one possibility, but we're looking into it. My own wife didn't finish the forum sign up step. You don't finish the forum sign up step, you don't get your email. You don't get your email, you don't get your pudding. Jordan Mox, I have no idea why it's running on your second monitor. I run two monitors. It runs on my primary. Yes, Robert, if you're getting email from us, the forums are sending that. How can you get your pudding if you don't eat your sign up? I'm glad people still get that joke. Everyone's getting the joke. Is choosing one at random each startup? Where's your cursor when you're starting it up? Is it maybe doing it based on where your mouse cursor is? This is an Unreal thing. It's not something we're doing. Oh, you're trying to span 3 monitors with it. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a third monitor hooked up, steal one of my son's monitors and see what happens. And then people want super widescreen support, but I just don't like those screens because the resolution is not as high as I'd like it to be. It shouldn't change from male to female when you open and close. Are you all tabbing? Because tab is the key that switches characters. It does support ultra wide out of the box, Eisenwolf, apparently. I didn't know, but someone here is running with an ultra wide and it is running for them. Thanks, Mucky. You need ultra wide for the female booty because it fills the camera. I think it's funny, and that the female booty is thick, and then the male one is like super tight. It's like catering to both crowds. Yeah, Eisenwolf 3440 and 1440 doesn't cut it for me. I need, with all the stupid little node windows open, I need 2 4K displays in Substance Designer in particular, and not so much in Unreal. Unreal, it's not so tiny. Well, Sorrow, you want an FOV slider then. We don't have an FOV slider in this build. We do have it in our test build internally, but we didn't have time to put a graphics option in this art demo. It works in spanning mode? You got it to work? Tell me how. I don't know how big the T5 is going to be yet. Yeah, I bet. You're running over max settings. You're running cinematic settings. We're locked to that for uh nobody. No, I mean the forum name. There's a choose your forum name section. You can still add it afterwards. A mail slot. Okay, so I get it. Need to support span mode and ultra wide monitors. I do not have an ultra wide monitor, so I was asking for recommendations for cheap ones that were still decent. Thanks, Scoob. Oh, vertical FOV? That's aspect ratio. I don't know, but you're running 3 monitors spanning. That I can test. I've got an extra monitor here. See, I just don't want to spend $600 on a monitor, especially because of the resolution. Taffy puller. We have pretty booties on both male and female. Equal opportunity booty. Thanks, Pit Pyro. Maybe we need to strip spaces out. You sure you didn't have any spaces in there? Oh, interesting. First person, the FPS goes up? That is weird. I wonder if it's Hairworks. Because you ain't drawing the hair when you're in first person. A bald build. I'll definitely check that. I'm going to. AMD sent me a low end system processor. I might do a rig around that with their lower end card and see see what's up. Right now, I have a 1080 on my dev rig and a 1060 on my laptop, so I don't see much, and I need to. I need to see what you guys are seeing. Ten sixty works great for me, especially considering that I shouldn't be running max settings on it. My kids have like a 960 though, or a 980, and I can see it lagging there. So but they're on their computers all the time. I can never snag it for test. Yeah, guys, after playing with Hairworks, I think we're going to ditch Hairworks, unfortunately. It just doesn't buy us that much. You can't really tell stuff's blowing around. And, talking to Epic, and Epic just says use cloth sim, use their cloth sim for hair. So we're going to try that at some point. Man, it's just a whole Floyd revival time here. Another brick in the wall. Really? Did they do something special for Hairworks and RTX for the 3 people who have an RTX card? Thanks, DJ. Yeah. But if people are getting crappy frame rates with Hairworks, I don't know. Buy a 2080. No, I don't think so. If Nvidia would send me one, AMD sent us stuff. That's why they get their logo on the screen. Yeah. Terracon, send me a DM. There's too much chatter here. Let's figure out what's going on with you. Actually, better yet, while Ben is here, can you DM Fillmore about a login issue? I know. I'm sorry, Ben, but you're the only one who knows how that works. You wrote the auth server and you fixed the client side login bug. You're our only hope. Oh yeah, well we announced the sponsors some time ago. Min is excited about the because I did a Razer. I did a little thing with Razer a while back, and I told Min that we chose Razer colors for that, even though Toshi just sort of went with whatever colors in his head. It came out all Razery, so I sent it to Min, and Min likes it a lot. Min is the CEO of Razer. It's been a friend of mine for a little while. AMD vice president of dev relations there is a big Firefall fan. I don't know if you know that, and he's actually going to be checking out the demo. So he's been real supportive. Epic has been great. We have tier 1 support at Epic. Not that we've used it yet, but we're going to. Um, that's because I know Mark Rain at Epic, and so that's good too. So we were able to get into their internal forums and tier 1 support for Epic. And Ikinema, I don't know anyone by Ikinema, but they've been very kind to us, letting us extend our license for the IK stuff. So you'll notice that the feet of the thumper in the original demo, they didn't have IK on them, but now they do. And with Ikinema, that was literally a one node hookup that made it very quick to execute. Wow, Sorrow. Uh, I don't know, but I'm asking AMD for their integrated chip, the new, what is it, the CPU, the 200, what is it, GE, and you can get fairly decent frame rates on a lot of games with that. So I want to see if we can get it to run on that. Altria Sirius, what is the issue with the demo? I've never had a problem with Razer peripherals except for I never like the sound on their headphones, and I don't like their wireless mice. My my kids use the cheapest. One of my sons uses the cheapest wired Razer mouse, and he played competitively with that, and that's all he liked for a while until he saved up money and he got a Logitech. But it really lasted with him. I have not had any breakage problems with Razer, and we've run a ton of Razer stuff. Your mileage may vary, but I've but all of our Razer stuff still works, and at Red 5 we had a ton of Razer stuff too. I'm actually running a Logitech wireless mouse, and I like it. It's actually good. Oh, the blade. Did you study the blade? The blade is a nice laptop, but I went cheaper and I got the Asus Republic of Gamer one, and I'm quite happy. But it's not quite as sleek as the Razer. You're not my dad. The Razer has a nicer screen. Yes, there are melee weapons for Omni frames, especially the light Omni frame. I haven't figured out which melee weapons go where yet, but two-handed seems to make sense for that. Oh, I don't know if you want to control your Omni frame with a HOTA setup. It's not that kind of mech. It's much faster. You want to do your 360 no scope. This mic is a Razer headset right now, but do you want to know what mic I'm using in the demo? Is that what the question? So the mic is actually a uh, a hand modified mic that's very rare because he doesn't make them anymore. It actually emulates a U87. It takes a Rode, I believe a Rode NT something, and I sent it in a couple years ago to have it hand modified with different capsule, and it sounds like a $3,000 Neumann mic U87. In fact, it's very hard to tell the difference between that and an actual one. The preamp is just running through a standard solid state Scarlett preamp, nothing special. I would like to get a tube preamp for it at some point. Someone's an audiophile recording person here. You know, I noticed that, DJ. I think that was not my mic. Because when I hear the original wave, it sounds great, but when I ran it through Audacity, I had to do. I didn't have my level set right, so I had to amplify it, and then I had to. It dropped it down to 16 bits. So I that's not my mic. That's Audacity, but it sounds. I do hear the aliasing in my voice, and I think that's due to the artificial amplification I did afterwards because I didn't have my levels set correctly. I didn't have my DAW set up. I wasn't running Pro Tools when I recorded that. I didn't have it installed. I only did it in Premiere, and Premiere has pretty crappy audio controls. The digital tones are totally from me, trying to fix it later. Oh yeah, you're looking at it through a mail slot, Forsaken. I see that now. I don't use Audacity. I just didn't have my Pro Tools set up, and Pro Tools on my system has always been kind of flaky. I need to have a dedicated Pro Tools system set up so it doesn't mess with all my other sound settings for Unreal and everything else. So until maybe when I get this other PC set up that the parts that AMD sent me, I'll set up Pro Tools dedicated on that or something. No, X just does really comedic ragdoll and weird stuff. It's a little Easter egg. There is a DAW that's really popular with game makers now. I forget what it's called, but it's actually free, but then you pay if you like it. And it's really popular because it's really good for batch wave modifications and things. I was going to take a look at that. Pro Tools is very finicky on my system. That's why I keep it uninstalled because I get weird USB issues and things. Actually, DJ, I don't know if I want. I'm trying to do this company without VC funding. I've had a ton of experience with VC and publisher funding, and and they have their, there's a lot of money there, but they have huge cons too. And I'm trying to do this with crowdsourcing, and I'm looking at Shroud of the Avatar. Shroud of the Avatar, which is Richard Garriott's game, did about 1.9 on their Kickstarter, and then they did additional 10 million off their website. And that might be doable with the way that we are doing stage development for Ember, where we're not coming out with the full feature set at launch. We're kind of pulling a Warframe. So we'll see. I mean, there's an old adage in startups. It's like, hey, VCs are great, but if you don't have to take their money, don't do it. So, you're much better off with a VC when you get to a stage of growth where you need to really expand, and you need the extra financing, but you already have a lot of users and a lot of profit. You get to call the shots more. Shadow, I always make mistakes. I just make new ones each time, each game. So that I threw together that startup screen on the demo real quick because I didn't know how to animate anything, so I just Googled it real quick, and turns out Unreal has a nice sort of animation editor for their UI, and it was kind of fun to put together. I don't know. I just wanted to say that. Well, Shadow, I mean, this we're trying to crowdfund the game, so we're trying to see if we can build a viable revenue stream that's, even between milestone fundings. So that's part of it, and it's going okay. I think we really need the playable mockup and the Kickstarter to really start the full company. But it's the sort of thing where our whole business model is selling skins and selling stuff, you know, along the way. And you're not going to see loot boxes from us. You're not going to see predatory practices, and you're going to see consistent builds from us too. I mean, this is the first time that we have all the art done, and you're going to see builds hopefully on a month, every 2 month basis, that sort of thing. So we'll be dropping them regularly. You guys can gauge the progress as we go along. So that's super transparent. I don't know anybody else who does art demos, for example. A loot box pet would be awesome. Oh, that's a great idea. It's like those loot goblins. It just drops crap everywhere most of the time. Well, Shadow, so far, we haven't done a lot. I mean, the bike was maybe a day of modeling for me and was the longest one. The dropship stuff took like no time at all for Tommaso to sketch out. We try to keep those really light because you're right. We don't want, but when you're running a game company, and if you want a game company to be successful, you have to do the business side and you have to do the game side. I've seen so many creative companies get into trouble because they're not businessmen and they don't know how that goes or how to keep the lights on. And I've seen a lot of business oriented companies that have no idea how to make a good game. And Blizzard's always taught me that there's a balance, and there's old Blizzard, not new Blizzard. Old Blizzard taught me how to, that it's important to strike a balance between the two. Yeah, a pet treasure goblin that looks like a loot box and just drops crap that nobody wants. We use all the polygons and all the colors in the crayon box. So, I mean, a more serious answer to that question, I mean, Toshi can tell you he does the majority of our organic modeling. I do hard surface. Hard surface, I use Modo. We use Substance Designer and Substance Painter for all of our texturing and paint. I'm really happy with this demo, and I wish things had gotten smoother. The OmniFrame redesign, was necessary, I think, and I'm glad we did it. And I'm just sad it took so long. But now that it's in the game, I'm looking forward to making a lot more game progress. And the big barrier there is animation. We have so many moves in the game, and the OmniFrame is complex that we have to do some R&D on that. But we've taken steps to speed that up, right? Like we've got the motion capture suit, and we're looking into motion matching, which simplifies the programming aspects a lot. But that's our next big challenge. If we can overcome that, then things should be pretty speedy, and we want speed. That's a big emphasis. Is like, how do we get our production to be faster? Thank you, Shadow. Okay, so the terrain you see now is a combination of World Builder. I generated that in World Builder, and then I used tessellation with Substance Designer textures, and there's a little subsurface scattering in the snow too. But uh, I'm switching to Houdini. So basically, we have the indie license of Houdini, and I'll be jumping into that, into the tutorials and everything, because it's a big program to learn. But I like the UI already a lot better than World Builder, and we'll continue to use Substance Designer for the terrain textures. I think they just totally misjudged how to announce that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Diablo mobile game, but the way they positioned it and the hype beforehand, they should have gotten a better handle on that. And then the flip response at the chat and how, teaching your developers how do you react to booing is important in a day and age where things are very transparent and people say what's on their mind. Thanks, Scoob. Oh yeah, the terrain's bare bones right now. That's why we're doing a terrain pass. There's not even a snowball on the terrain. There's nothing there except the tessellation. Maybe Elsa will show up. Naval Con. There you go. All right, guys. It's nap time and dinner time here. I think everybody wants a rest after shipping that thing, and seems like it's running well enough, and there's no fires, major fires yet. Terracon, we've got to get that running for you. I don't know if he's still here in chat, but we got to go test that out. And Faye, we need to report on the male butt if it's up to snuff. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And we will have the Chief Chat Monday. I probably won't be around tomorrow. I'm going to take Sunday with the family. And thanks for supporting us and being with us all the way. Thank you so much. And hope you enjoy the demo. All right. Peace out.